All right, so do you need a CRM to wholesale real estate? All right. Yes. In a nutshell, yes, you do need a CRM. Okay. I'm just going to be honest and transparent with you. Um, Having a CRM is a wonderful resource to have. You should definitely have some type of CRM to help you in your wholesaling business, even to help you in your house flipping business. Um, but as a wholesaler, having a CRM, especially if you are first starting out or doing everything on your own, having a CRM is going to really make everything a lot easier. It's more, it's going to flow a lot easier, right? Because a CRM is going to hold all of your data, right? So let me talk about not having a CRM in the beginning, which I did not have a CRM in the beginning. When I first started wholesaling, I did not have a CRM. What I used for wholesaling was my notes app. That was my CRM. I had a notes app. The notes app that's in your phone. You have iPhone notes. That's what I used. I would drive around. Driving for dollars was like my main like way of marketing back then. I would drive for dollars, and what I would do is I would see the property, see the address, write down the address, all in my notes app. Each property that I went along and found, wrote down the address, and then I would go back home and then skip trace, the numbers and all that stuff. Did everything in my notes app, and then if I got lucky and was able to get in contact with the seller, whatever conversation we had, I would write it down underneath that address in my notes app. And that's what I would, and that's how I ran my business. Like in the beginning, I did what I had to do. So I did the notes app for a little while, and I mean it was efficient for me, especially starting out because really didn't have much to really, I didn't have a lot of data at the time. Yeah, I was still working two jobs, and the notes app was just enough for me. That's all I really needed. That's all I really knew about in the beginning, really. When I first got introduced to CRMs was when I actually became a realtor first, because I became a realtor and then I went into wholesaling. When I became a realtor, that's when I first heard of the term CRM and what it did. And the brokerage recommended that we, get a CRM for our business, for our clients. And it just cost too much for me at the time, so I just didn't do it. Like I did the free trial. I think some CRMs, they have like a free trial or like a free version to where it only does a certain amount of things, and then once you get up to a certain point, if you want to, level up, then you have to pay, for an upgrade. But the notes app, that's all I could afford. And then I got a little bit more, I don't want to say sophisticated but just a little bit more sufficient, a little bit more efficient. And I started doing spreadsheets. So I was getting more data, and then I did the spreadsheets, and I would not, and I am not a tech savvy person, so even the spreadsheet was a lot for me. But it made it a lot easier because I was getting more data. So I was, driving for dollars a whole lot more. I was scrubbing lists a whole lot more, just getting more data and more data and more data. And I had to store that data somewhere so I can follow up with that data, right? And so decided to transfer over to the spreadsheet. And the spreadsheets, that was my bread and butter for a long time. I would try to set in my calendar days on like which spreadsheet I will follow up with, because I had like a tax delinquent spreadsheet, then the foreclosure spreadsheet, probate spreadsheet, a November, you know, 2021 probates, October 2021 probates, like all just categorized and separated within the spreadsheets. And that's what I used for a very, very long time. And it worked for me. You know, it was sufficient enough for me. And that's really the message I'm trying to really get across is in the beginning, you're not going to have all the tools and resources. It's just not going to happen. Especially if you're just starting out, you have very little money. So you're going to have to do what you got to do to get started. And if it's using a spreadsheet or your notes app or whatever the case may be, you do what you have to do to get started. And the main thing is getting started. But that was my form of a CRM. That's what I used. I used notes apps and spreadsheets. And looking back at it, I can't believe I did that. But like I said, I just did what I had to do. And it worked out for me for the little bit of data that I had. And that's all I needed. That's all you need. You don't have to jump into getting a CRM, an expensive CRM. You don't have to jump in getting just stuff that you don't need, an LLC or business cards, or the latest app to go driving for dollars for. Now that, they sell apps now to where you can drive for dollars, making it a lot easier. Yeah, it does make it a lot easier. However, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. So you're going to have to do the next best thing. And the next best thing is using what you already have, using what you can afford, because it's all the same thing anyway. And so you just use that, and the main thing is you talking to the seller. As long as you're talking to somebody, that's really all that matters. And so after the spreadsheet, I decided to actually get a CRM. I decided to go with the CRM called HubSpot. HubSpot is a pretty popular CRM. Everyone knows about it. But I was still cheating a little bit because even though I decided to finally get a CRM, I was doing the free version of the CRM. So it was basically a spreadsheet for me. I wasn't paying for anything. I was getting so much data that I needed somewhere where I can write in notes and it logs the time and the date, the names. I just needed something else other than a spreadsheet, because the spreadsheet was just kind of, I felt like it was slowing me down a little bit after I just started collecting more data. So I went to the next best thing, which was an actual CRM, and I used HubSpot. And then I used that for a very long time. And, it was very good to me. So, but like I said, I want to reiterate this again. You do what you got to do. If I were to go back, I would just hop right into HubSpot, especially starting out, because you don't know what you don't know, and I really didn't know that much about CRMs, but now I have a pretty good idea of how resourceful they can be for your business, whether you're using a free one or a paid one. I would definitely use a CRM to log all your information. And for me, it was HubSpot. That's how I first started. All right, so now going into, do you need a CRM? All right, like I said at the beginning of the video, yes, you do need a CRM. It is imperative that you work up to that. All right. It is imperative you get you a paid CRM, something that a CRM that you're going to have to pay money for. You're going to have to bite the bullet. However, this is reinvesting in your business. If you invest in a CRM, then you are reinvesting into your business, okay? Which is something that you should be doing in the first place. You can't keep all the profits and then expect to make more money and not spending any money on your business. All right, you got to spend money to make money. And that money that you're spending needs to go back towards your business, back into a CRM, an effective CRM. So the the great things that a CRM can provide for you and your wholesaling business is that it can definitely log all of your leads. It keeps track of every single lead that you have, whether it's a cold lead, a warm lead, or a hot lead. Okay. And you are going to need those leads to follow up with. And you're going to need to have those leads stored somewhere. And that's where the CRM comes in. All right. So you want to get the CRM so you can store all of your leads, because what's going to happen is in the very beginning, you're not going to have many leads. Okay. You're going to have probably a lot of lists, or you're going to have a lot of data in that standpoint of just, having lists. But when that list, those contacts turns into leads, especially warm and hot leads, you're going to want to store those warm and hot leads into a database. And that database is your CRM. Now, when those leads, those warm and hot leads are in your CRM, you are going to want to follow up with them on a consistent basis. And that's what a CRM will allow you to do. A CRM is going to allow you to set auto reminders. Okay. It's going to be able to remind you to follow up with Susie at 123 Main Street on Saturday at 2 p.m. because she told you to call her at that time, right? A CRM does that. Okay. A CRM is going to allow you to not only set auto reminders, but it's also going to allow you to do automatic follow-ups. So there are CRMs, and of course you would have to pay for this service, okay? There are CRMs that are going to allow you to automatically follow up with your leads, which saves you a bunch of time, okay? So it's going to allow you to send emails, right? If you want to send an automatic email to a lead, you were able to get that email on the initial phone call. It's going to allow you to automatically send an email however many times you want. So if you want to send an email once a week, or you want to send an email once every 2 weeks, whatever the case may be, then it's going to allow you to do that. Some CRMs are also going to allow you to send text messages. Okay, so if you are into texting, or if your lead is into texting, they will rather text than call, which a lot of them would prefer that, especially if it's a warm or hot lead. You can send automatic text messages. You're also able to send automatic, well, I guess it's called ringless voicemail. So there are some CRMs that do ringless voicemail. You have to be careful about ringless voicemail, because I've heard that there's been some skepticism and people trying to stop the ringless voicemail thing from happening, because it's a nuisance to, I guess, sellers or whatever. I don't know that much about it, but there are CRMs that offer ringless voicemail, which can also be very efficient as well. But the point I'm trying to get across is the CRM allows you to have the ability to automatically follow up without you having to manually do it. And that's something that's very powerful. That's why it's also extremely resourceful for you to get a CRM for your wholesaling business. So when you are following up with your leads, okay, you're closing deals, you're making profits, right? You want to, like I said, take that profit, all right, take the money that you're making, and you want to reinvest it back in your business. You want to put it back into your CRM. Continue to pay for that monthly or yearly subscription so you have all your data and you can keep up and be organized with all that data. And so that being said, the CRM is also going to allow you to be able to make more money within your wholesaling business. And what I mean by that is that less leads are going to fall through the cracks. This is probably one of the most important things that a CRM can definitely provide you, is the ability to not have your leads fall through the cracks, or at least, very few leads fall through the cracks. I can't imagine, I can't, in the very beginning, there were so many times where uh, I had a lead. I contacted someone. I went to go knock on their door. I made a phone call to them, and they were going to sell. They for sure said that they were going to sell. They're going to sell at this time. Just and they wanted me to follow up with them at this such and such time, but I didn't. And the reason why I didn't was because I had so many other leads and contacts that was just in a spreadsheet or in my notes app, that it was just overwhelming. I just forgot about the lead. And it happened it happened on more than one occasion. It happened so many times. But because I didn't have the CRM, because I was using a spreadsheet or my notes app, I just had deals falling through the cracks. And then when I would finally remember to follow up with them, it was too late. They were already under contract or the property had already sold. However, that wouldn't have happened if I had a CRM remind me to follow up with this person every week or every other week, right? So CRMs are going to really help with not having leads fall through the crack. That's going to help you make more money because you're not going to miss out on deals and opportunities simply because you are overwhelmed with contacting other people, right? I mean, and don't get me wrong, you want to contact and you want to talk to as many like people as possible. Like that's the goal. But you also want something that's going to be able to organize those contacts. You want something that's going to be able to automatically remind you, right? You or automatically follow up with that person. And the way to do that is through a CRM. So that's why I say that you need a CRM and you shouldn't let anyone tell you differently. Your business should have a CRM, especially if you're wholesaling or house flipping. All right. If you are talking to people on a consistent basis, all right, and that's your main source of income, and really any sales job, if you're in sales, you need a CRM, not just wholesaling. So my first job out of college, I was working in logistics. I was an account manager. I had to go and do outbound marketing, so make a lot of phone calls to land these accounts with clients. So they'll use our trucks to deliver their products and goods. We had a CRM because you're just talking to so many people. Like you're literally talking to people all day, every day. And if you're talking to people all day, every day, you need some type of CRM to be able to store that data. All right, you have to have a CRM for that. When I sold cars, we had a CRM. I sold cars. That was my next job. I sold cars, and we had a CRM to keep up with all the people that came in and wanted to buy a car. So that way, when they called us or they walked in again, we already had their information. We had the notes. We knew exactly how the conversation last time went. It's just a timeline that's stored for you for when you are able to talk to that person again. And those are both sales jobs. Wholesaling is sales. House flipping is sales. If you are wholesaling or house flipping, you need to have a CRM. It's as simple as that. And don't let anybody tell you differently. All right, don't be like me and do notes in a spreadsheet because I know that's more cost efficient. Okay, I understand that. And if you have to do that, like I said before, then you do what you have to do. Sometimes that's the way it is. That's how it was for me. You do what you have to do. And when I just didn't know better. I just really didn't. I didn't know of any CRMs that I can use for wholesaling. I didn't have that information available to me. I just didn't know. I thought the CRMs were only for those specific jobs that I had. That logistics account manager job, they provided us a CRM, right? And that was really the first time actually I I really used a CRM. I didn't even know I didn't even know it was a CRM. Like they didn't call it a CRM. I think they called it like Nighthawk or something. I don't know, but it was essentially it was a CRM, but I didn't know that's what it was called. You know, they just told me, hey, like any leads and contacts you come across, you put them in here. Okay. And then it's the same with selling cars. Like they provided us a CRM. And again, I didn't know it was a CRM. Like it was just, oh, this is something the company has that, they want me to use to keep up with all my contacts. But you're smarter than me. Okay. You are definitely smarter than me. So make sure you have a CRM, especially if you're starting out. Okay. Especially, and even if you're not starting out, it's extremely important to have a CRM. Okay. Even if you are a veteran or you've been doing this for a little while, I can guarantee you that the veterans in the wholesaling business also have CRMs, or they're providing CRMs to their employees, because that's just how important it is. Okay. So make sure you have that CRM. And I don't even care if it's a paid CRM, or if, I'm sorry, I don't even care if it's not paid. I don't care if it's free. Use the free version of the CRM. Don't use, if you can't afford the paid version, just work up to that. But I will tell you, once you know, score a deal, once you close on a deal, you make a handsome amount of money, you need to take a percentage of that profit and put it back into your business. You need to get that paid version of the CRM, because that's just how important it is. Okay. Now, the CRM that I'm currently using, which I've been using for I want to say the past 2 or 3 years now, uh, since today, is Resimply. Resimply, and that's another thing too I want to say. So there's no such thing as a perfect CRM. I'm just going to come out and be transparent about that. All of them have their like vices. Like none of them are perfect. You are not going to be happy with one single CRM. Okay, one CRM does something better than the other one, whether it be customer service, follow-ups, the price, whatever. The layout, the structure, the how it loads, whatever. Like none of them are perfect. So it's best to, if when you choose a CRM, to really give it a chance. Don't just hop into another CRM, because that's just as time consuming as learning the one that you're in. All right, you don't want to keep having to relearn all these other CRMs and moving all your data into the next CRM, and it's a pain. All right, it's a pain. So you really want to stick with a CRM and like stick it out. You really want to get used to that CRM and just make it work. Okay. That being said, the CRM that I use is Resimply. I like Resimply because it does everything. Like literally, whether it be direct mail, cold calling, dispositions, you can bring in a bunch of other users and give them roles, whether it be transaction coordinator or acquisition manager, lead management. It really does everything. It helps find cash buyers. I would say it's a pretty decent CRM. They all have their flaws, but Resimply as of right now is the one that I use. I'm pretty happy about them. They've definitely helped my business, especially storing the data and cold calling and direct mailing and the whole 9 yards. Okay, they're pretty good. So that's what I use. I want to say I pay between 3 to 4 thousand. I pay the yearly the yearly subscription, so I can get a bit of a discount. But that's because I can afford it, right? So I know $3,000 to $4,000 sounds like a whole lot for a CRM, but it's really worth every penny, especially when you have so many contacts and so many leads all that data, you need some place to put it, and so you can get it organized, and so you can be in touch with your contacts and leads. And when you start closing deals, that 3 to 4 grand, you're gonna be like, that ain't nothing. You're gonna happily spend that on a CRM, especially if it's helping you make money. It's so important to reinvest in your business, and you want to do that by making sure you have a pretty decent CRM to keep up with all your leads and your data. So I hope you got value out of this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next video.